everybody, and it is 3:54 in the frickin' morning here in the USA, proud place of America, in the land of Wheeling, West Virginia. Anyway, this is Hidden Angel here, reporting half awake, tired, and wanting to get to frickin' bed. Okay, now I thought I would do a little quick video and have this uploaded, so by the time this is up, I'm sure Duelist Jump is probably going to be commenting on this, giving some tips and advice. But for this new deck, I actually just earlier learned this deck, and I actually had a friend help me build, and this is actually his deck build that he used. So if you figured it out, and if you recognize this monster, it's one of the Nekroz. So I'm technically learning how to play Nekroz, so I figured I'd do a deck profile on it and explain how the deck actually works. Now, I'm still getting kinda confused with the ritual spells, but I'm still working on it, and actually I improved pretty good, and I actually dueled really good in a mirror match, according to my friend SSJ Infinity on here. If anyone knows him, he's the guy that actually helped me build this and actually helped me test this. Anyway, it's ritual based, so we're gonna get through the monsters first. That's effect. So as you can see, there's like only 10 effect monsters and 14 rituals and like no traps and all spells. So I'm just gonna shut up and get right to what the deck can do exactly. For the effect monsters, we have 3 Senju of 1,000 hands and Senju and Manju. Manju is more of the advanced of Senju. It can look out for either a spell or ritual monster to add to your hand that turn, and while Senju only lets you search out for the monster, that's a ritual. So it's a +1 for both, but +1 for Senju, but it's technically a +2 for Manju with an optional effect. Next, we have Shirit Strategist of the Nekroz, and what he Okay, now what this card basically does is, if you ritual summon exactly one Nekroz ritual monster with a card effect that requires use of monsters, this card can be used as the entire requirement if this card is tributed by a card effect. Example, with the ritual spell. With a Nekroz ritual spell, you can search out your deck for a warrior type Nekroz ritual monster from your deck to your hand, but this effect can only be applied once per turn. So, okay, here's another example. Nekroz are not like normal ritual monsters. You could just, oh hey, I'm going to pay this level 10 monster and play this level 8 ritual. Nah, that's not how this deck works. You must tribute to the exact amount, for if you don't, you're basically cheating and you're basically BSing everybody. So this card is a full requirement ritual, so most cards in this deck runs levels 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1 level 10. So without further ado, math is very, very much needed in this deck, and to help you actually run this perfect. So you need to calculate what's in the deck, get it right, and once done, you're pretty much set to go. Now, Dance Princess of the Nekroz, my friend here runs 1. What it does is your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of a Nekroz ritual spell card. Nekroz monsters you control cannot be targeted by an opponent's card effects. If this card is tributed by a card effect, you can target one of your banished Nekroz monsters, except Dance Princess of Nekroz, add it to your hand, and this effect can only be applied once. So this card is technically a plus with like 2 or 3 different effects. As long as she's on the field, when you use a Nekroz ritual spell, it can't be negated, and nor can the summon. So that's basically a crap, I forget the name of that card that protects your one monster from everything card effect wise. So it's basically a Nekroz shield, but if you tribute it, you can get back a banished Nekroz. Now how these get banished, I will explain later. Now, Djinn, releaser of the rituals, he's basically used, of course we know what he does. If he's ritual If he is used as a ritual material monster, you basically lock down your opponent from special summoning other monsters. So that's basically a plus for you. So if you're going up against decks that like to spam like Naturias, Crystal Beasts, not so much, but kinda, the Heroes, Dragon Rulers, but that's pretty much out of the question since Dragon Rulers got banned hard. And those are probably never coming back. Okay, let's get literal, people. You discard dragons and keep banishing dragons to get higher level dragons out in the field. You have 3 copies of each. Yeah, that's never coming back. I'm sorry. Dragon Rulers, you're dead. You're never coming back. Dead dragons are what are meant to stay dead. Okay. Moving on to the ritual monsters now. We have Nekroz of Bryanak. Now, what this card does is it has 2 different effects. One is if it's in your hand and the other is if it's on the field. The first effect is you can discard this card to add a Nekroz monster from your deck to your hand except Nekroz of Bryanak. So this card is basically a search with a +2 advantage, but there's the +1 if it's in your hand. The +2 effect is you can target up to 2 face-up special summon monsters from the extra, or you can target up to, 2 face-up monsters on the field that was special summoned from the extra deck. So, say for example, you're going up against a XYZ or a Synchro-based deck. This deck pretty much ruins that deck completely. So, mostly you just want to ditch him to go into another Nekroz. And basically, he's the main searcher. Now, there's 3 Bryanak. Okay, now we run, my friend runs 2 Clausels, or however it's pronounced, and as the card says, it must be special summoned by the ritual spell, or any Nekroz spell. Now, these 3 spells here, I'll get to those here, but let me get through the monsters first. Now, here are the +2s that Claus does. You can discard this card, add 1 Nekroz spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. So this card basically searches out for the ritual spells, which is actually a +1 for you, so that way you can get to your ritual summons faster. Now, the second effect is if it's on the field during either player's turn, you can target 1 face-up monster on the side of the field that was special summoned from the extra deck. Until the end of that turn, that target's attack becomes 0 and its effects are negated. So that's the +2 for you if you're able to get it out on the field. So, anyway, moving on, we have 1 Nekroz of Decisive Armor, and here, what the +2s that it does is +1 effect is during either player's turn, you can discard this card, then target a face-up Nekroz you control, and it gains 1,000 attack and defense to the end of the turn. So it's like an honest, but with a 1k boost in attack and defense. So you can either use it for that to discard, or when it's on the field, you can target a set card on your opponent's control and destroy it, and if you happen to make it successful, you can end up banishing it too. So say for instance if your opponent had like a set monster or a set spell or trap or a set field spell. Who sets field spells? Okay, that's okay. Moving on. You guys get the point. And we run SSJ Infinity runs 1 Nekroz of Gungar. Now, what he does is, here's the +1 for it. During either player's turn, you can discard this card, then target 1 Nekroz monster you control. It cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects this turn. So, it's basically allows one of your Nekroz monsters, like, say, Decisive or Bryanak, or whoever here, to be protected for that whole remainder of the turn until the next turn. So, and the +2 effect is, if it's on the field, during either player's turn, you can discard a Nekroz card, then target 1 card on the field and destroy it. So it's basically a nuke for one card if you want to ditch a Nekroz from your hand. Second card we have, or the other card we have, oh crap. Before we get to this, I'm going to pause this. So this is part 1 of, however, of the Nekroz.